cars will not make you happy. Strange, isn't it? We live in a world where people sacrifice decades of their lives chasing the dream of luxury, dreaming of that shiny car, that leather seat, that engine roar. And yet, the moment they finally own it, the satisfaction fades. Why? Because the happiness you seek in the car is not in the car. It was never in the car. And until you realize this, every upgrade, every model, every luxury will feel empty because you're asking a machine to solve a problem of the soul. Why do we crave the most expensive car? Is it really about transportation? Of course not. A car is designed to take you from one place to another, but you can buy a cheap one for that. What we really seek in the expensive car is recognition, status, proof that we matter. We want heads to turn, eyes to widen, neighbors to envy. But notice this, it is never about the car itself. It is about the story you tell yourself when you are inside it. And that story is fragile, always requiring validation. The paradox is simple. The more you rely on external objects to prove your worth, the emptier you feel without them. That car becomes a mask, hiding the insecurity underneath. But the moment the thrill fades, or when someone drives a newer, faster, shinier car, you are thrown back into the same dissatisfaction. This is why no purchase, however grand, can solve the riddle of happiness. Because happiness is not contained in the leather, the horsepower, or the badge. It is contained in the freedom to live without needing those things to confirm who you already are. Think of a child. Give a child a cardboard box, and it becomes a spaceship. Give them a stick, and it becomes a sword. The joy is not in the object, but in the imagination, the aliveness of play. Somewhere along the way, adults lose this. We forget that joy comes from within, and we begin to believe that only the expensive version will do. And so we buy cars, watches, clothes, hoping to feel the excitement again. But excitement fades. Playfulness remains only if you can see that the car was never the source of joy at all. This does not mean we should despise wealth or scorn the beautiful car. That is another trap. If you despise luxury, you are still enslaved by it because you are pushing it away with just as much obsession as the one who chases it. The truth is subtler. Enjoy the car, drive it, feel its power, but do not expect it to give you what it cannot give. It can give convenience, style, speed, but it cannot give peace, meaning, or love. Mistake one for the other, and you will spend your life in restless pursuit. There's a story about a wealthy man who bought the fastest car in the world. He polished it daily, drove it proudly, showed it to his friends. Yet every night he lay awake, restless, because in his mind, someone somewhere was already building a faster car. And in that comparison, his joy vanished. You see, as long as your happiness depends on being ahead of others, you will never be happy. For the race never ends. The only finish line is death, and you cannot drive there fast enough. The car will rust, but dissatisfaction endures. So where is true wealth? It is in freedom, the freedom not to be owned by what you own. You can have the car or not have it and still be at peace. This is richness. But most people are trapped in a cycle of desire. They think, once I get this, I'll be satisfied. But satisfaction keeps moving, always just beyond reach. The truth is that satisfaction is here now, if you stop chasing. If you can sip tea, watch the sky, laugh with a friend, these are luxuries greater than any car, and they cost nothing at all. Have you ever bought something you longed for? Maybe not a car, maybe just a gadget, a phone, a pair of shoes. Remember how exciting it was the first day? And then a week later, it became ordinary. The object didn't change, you did. The newness faded. This is the treadmill of desire. The mind craves novelty, mistaking it for happiness. But happiness was never in the object, it was in your awareness of it, your freshness of attention. If you can bring that freshness to a walk, a breath, a conversation, you are rich without possessions. Some will say, but Alan, are you telling me never to buy nice things? Of course not. The point is not abstinence, but awareness. Buy the car if you wish, but see it for what it is, a tool, a toy, a temporary thrill. Do not burden it with the impossible task of making you complete. When you know this, you can enjoy it without clinging. You can ride in luxury or on a bicycle, and your joy remains the same, because it comes from you, not from the seat you're sitting on. That is true freedom. This is why monks can laugh with nothing, and billionaires can cry with everything. The difference is not the bank account, it is the relationship to desire. When you see desire for what it is, a game, a dance, you are free to play without becoming trapped. Manifestation, too, must be understood this way. People think they must manifest wealth, cars, houses. But true manifestation is not about pulling objects from the universe. It is about aligning yourself with joy, creativity, love, and from that state, things may come, but you no longer depend on them. That is real abundance. Imagine driving your shiny new car. For a moment, you feel on top of the world. Then suddenly someone passes you with a newer, faster, louder machine. Instantly, the joy evaporates. Nothing changed in your car. It didn't shrink. It didn't slow. But inside you, a voice whispered, "Theirs is better." And just like that, your happiness was stolen. Not by the other car, but by your own mind. As long as joy is tied to being better, it will always be at the mercy of someone else's possession. This is the endless race. It happens with cars, with houses, with clothes, even with spiritual practice. We want to be ahead, superior, number one. But think about it, if the entire world is racing, nobody is at peace. The finish line never comes. And so, comparison turns life into a competition where nobody wins, because the game itself is unwinnable. You see? The moment you drive to impress others, you are no longer driving, you are performing. And performance is exhausting. The road is meant for journeys, not for proving your worth. So what is true richness? It is the freedom to step out of the race, to drink tea without needing it to be expensive, to laugh with a friend without needing an audience, to walk in the rain without caring who is watching. The wealthiest person is not the one who owns the most, but the one who needs the least. That is richness, not a garage full of cars, but a heart free from envy. And this richness cannot be stolen, because it does not depend on anything outside of you. Here's the paradox. The man who owns little but enjoys it fully is richer than the man who owns everything but cannot taste it. You can have a simple bicycle and feel more alive than the millionaire stuck in traffic in his sports car. Because richness is measured in presence, not possessions. When you are truly present, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. A loaf of bread becomes a feast. A sunset becomes a cathedral. A simple walk becomes a journey into infinity. Tell me what car can give you that? None. But awareness can, at any moment. There was once a businessman who worked himself to exhaustion, convinced that once he bought his dream car, he would finally relax. He bought it, drove it, admired it. But soon the thrill wore off. So he set his sights on another, then another. One day, in a small fishing village, he saw a man sitting peacefully under a tree, laughing with his children. "Don't you want more?" asked the businessman. The fisherman smiled. "I already have everything." That man, without a car, was richer than the one with a fleet. Simplicity is often misunderstood. People think it means giving up, living poorly, renouncing beauty. Not at all. Simplicity means enjoying fully what is already here, without piling on endless layers of desire. It means tasting your meal instead of photographing it, listening to your friend instead of thinking about what to say next. The simplest acts, done with awareness, are luxurious. Simplicity is not lack, it is clarity. It is freedom. And once you see this, you may still enjoy your car, but you will no longer be fooled into thinking it holds your salvation. This freedom is powerful, because once you no longer need the car, the money, the validation, you can finally enjoy them if they come. You are no longer clinging. Imagine two people driving the same expensive car. One is tense, thinking of how others see him, worried about scratches, comparing constantly. The other is simply enjoying the drive, feeling the wind, noticing the sky. Which one is truly rich? The same car, two completely different realities. And the difference is not in the car, it is in the mind. Your perspective is the true engine of happiness. Think of death for a moment. Morbid, perhaps, but illuminating. On your final day, will you care which car you drove? Or will you care who sat beside you, who laughed with you, who loved you? The car fades. The connections remain. Death strips away illusions of ownership. You cannot take your garage with you, but you can take the richness of a life fully lived, memories, love, presence. Ironically, remembering death makes you live more richly now. It reveals how absurd it is to tie happiness to machines that will outlast you. The modern world, of course, sells the opposite. Advertisements whisper, this car will make you powerful, desirable, respected. But notice the trick. It appeals to your insecurity. It sells the cure to the very disease it creates. First, it convinces you that you are lacking, then it offers you the object to fix it. But the cycle never ends. This is why the most expensive car does not make you happy, because it was sold to you not as a tool, but as a promise. And promises tied to possessions are always broken, sooner or later. So what is the alternative? Play. Treat life as play. Drive the car if you wish, but as a child plays with a toy, not as a slave clings to a chain. When you play, you do not need the toy to complete you. You enjoy it for what it is, and when it breaks, you move on. Imagine living with this attitude toward everything: money, cars, houses, even relationships. To hold them lightly, to play, to laugh, that is freedom. And freedom, not luxury, is the highest wealth. The world cannot give it. Only you can live it. The greatest luxury is not in chrome and leather, but in the ability to sit quietly and feel whole. If you can sit alone and be content, you are wealthier than kings. A walk without rushing, a conversation without distraction, you are driving the rarest car of all, the vehicle of awareness. And awareness does not rust, does not depreciate, does not need an upgrade. It is always here, always free. That is the one luxury no one can buy or sell. So perhaps the question is not, how do I get the most expensive car, but how do I enjoy the ride of life itself? Because cars break, roads end, but life keeps moving. The true journey is not on asphalt, but in awareness. And in that sense, every step, every breath, every laugh is part of the grand adventure. The car may enhance the journey, but it is not the journey. And the man who realizes this is richer than all who measure their worth by the size of their garage. Let me leave you with another paradox. If you cling to wealth, you will always feel poor. But if you can let it go, wealth flows naturally toward you. Why? Because people are drawn to those who radiate freedom, not desperation. The man who is whole attracts abundance, while the man who is empty repels it. This is the hidden truth behind happiness and wealth. They are side effects of living deeply, not goals to chase. Once you see this, you no longer ask the car to make you happy, you bring happiness to the car. So remember this, the most expensive car will not make you happy, but seeing clearly, being present, living freely, this will. If a car comes, let it be a toy, a tool, a passing joy. If it doesn't, nothing is lost, for the true luxury is here, now, in awareness, in love, in the freedom to live without clinging. Happiness cannot be driven, parked, or purchased. It can only be lived, and that is wealth beyond measure. That is the only richness that endures.